The Westminster Standards. This video covers material related to the Westminster Confession of Faith, Chapter 5, of Providence. If you recall from our previous discussions of the Westminster Standards, God works out his sovereign decrees through the works of creation and providence. When we talk about providence, what we're talking about is God's most holy, wise, and powerful preserving and governing all his creatures and all their actions. God is the first cause of all things because he's the creator of everything. Yet he orders things throughout history to happen through what we would call second causes. That is, through human actions and events in nature. These second causes, whether human actions or events in nature, work out either necessarily, or freely, or contingently. Here's what's meant by that. For something to happen necessarily, we're basically talking about cause and effect. When we throw a coin up in the air, it doesn't just stay suspended in the air. Because of gravity, the coin will necessarily fall. For something to happen freely, that's referring to actions that are chosen by an individual or by a group. If there are two paths, we may freely choose to go to the left or to the right. Yet, we could have possibly chosen to do otherwise. For a second cause to work out contingently, that's referring to the idea that if I do action A, what will happen as a result is B. If I don't do action A, result B will not happen. For example, if I'm playing pool and I hit the cue ball at just the right angle, it might sink the 8 ball in the side pocket. But if I don't hit it at just the right angle, the 8 ball will definitely not go in the side pocket. That's contingency. Now, ordinarily, God makes use of means, that is, second causes, human actions and acts of nature, when he providentially works out his decrees. But God is also free to work without or above or even against those means as he so chooses. Let's dive a little deeper into that idea. When we talk about God working without means, that's when God is the direct cause of something. Probably the easiest example to understand about God working without means is his creation of the entire universe. God did not use any substance to make the universe. He didn't make use of any means. He simply spoke and it happened. When we say that God is free to act above means, that is when God causes an effect to go beyond what would normally happen. Think about the crossing of the Red Sea, for example. God caused a wind to blow. Now, wind blows all the time, but it is extremely rare for wind to blow in such a way that a path is made through a body of water so that a group of people can walk on dry land. So God used the wind in a way that went above the means that it normally would have. God is also able to act against means. This is when God causes an effect to go contrary to what would normally happen. Think about the incident in 2 Kings 6 when a man tells Elisha that he lost an axe head in the water. God, in his miraculous way, causes the axe head to float to the top of the water. Now, we all know that axe heads don't normally float. So that's an example of God not simply going above normal means, but actually going against normal means. Even the fall into sin comes under God's providence. If it didn't, that would mean that God is not sovereign. And if God is not sovereign, he's not really God. Some might argue that God merely permitted the fall to happen. But the confession writers remind us that we have to wrestle a little bit more with such language, because even if God, quote, permits something, it cannot be mere permission or a bare permission. Anything God permits, including the fall or every sin ever committed, is permitted by the Creator and Sovereign Lord over all, with an intention to bring about His wise and holy ends. After all, God could not have permitted any of those things if He really wanted to. Now, of course, in saying all this, we have to remember that the sinfulness of our actions is only attributed to us and not to God, because God is neither the author of sin, nor is He the approver of sin. So yes, there's mystery in that idea, but it's something that we have to hold on to by faith. In His providential care, God sometimes chooses to discipline His people, and sometimes He providentially allows them to discover the corruption of their own hearts. He may even withdraw the sense of His presence from His people so that they will feel that lack of His presence and desire to repent and to renew their faith and to become obedient again. Another mysterious part of how God providentially oversees everything is that sometimes people harden their hearts towards God, but in some mysterious way, God also hardens the hearts of the ungodly. And He does this even under the means by which God uses to soften others. Again, there is great mystery here, and we have to hold these things by faith, but understanding that God is God. He is sovereign. He is wise. He is holy. He is just. He is good. And we can trust that whatever He does is really the right thing. That's it for chapter 5. If you have any questions, you can write them down. You can send them to me in an email or a text, or you can bring them to our training session and we'll talk about them then.